Hello.
Welcome to the House Academy Show, entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Rees-Hallow.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about what do the boots on the ground do for the buyers. Yesterday, we talked about what the BOG does for the sellers, at length actually. And if you didn't catch it, the episode before that, the day before, we really defined what the boots on the ground are. So this episode might have more meaning if you go back to the Monday aired episode about what the heck are these guys talking about? BOG, boots on the ground, every other word.
Right?
Might be helpful. Go ahead.
I want to remind that we're here with our Phoenix MSA Boots on the Ground, Christine and Ken Bond. And yes, we are wearing the same shirts that we wore yesterday and the day before, in case you are wondering. We don't just live in this.
We are here during the 4th of July break together, and we're filming 5 episodes back to back.
Yeah.
But they're airing daily.
Exactly.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
Stanley asks, what are the biggest and smallest deals you have ever done? I kind of want to know the answer to this too.
Well, these are house deals now.
Okay. like bring it.
We have a house transaction here in California in the works right now. The acquisition price is about $750 or $760-ish, and the sale price will be about $1 million, maybe 1.1. So that's as far back as I can remember, the largest house deal I've ever done, or we've ever done. And the smallest is, really tiny. I bought a cabin on Prince Edward Island in Canada for like $22,000 one time from a bank really quickly, and sold it for like $120. So I guess that's a pretty large spread, but smallest and largest, there's a lot of stuff in between, and quite honestly, I can't remember.
Exactly.
That's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But a typical deal for us, more importantly, is probably what acquisition price, 200, 210 to 300, sale price, 360 to, we try to make between $40,000 and $100,000, split 3 ways.
Mm-hmm.
Good question.
Yeah.
Today's topic, what do the boots on the ground do for the buyers? This is why you're listening. So we talked about the sellers. We got, Christine got us to the point where we own the property. Mm-hmm. By the way, we haven't put any money into this thing yet, and won't, because our investors did. So we own the property. So what do we do next? How do we help the buyers, the potential buyers?
Yeah. So as we are in I was back up for a second. As we are in the close process, we are also starting to create the profile sheet, the listing profile sheet for that particular property. And so we're pulling, information, the specs about the house. So that's in the works and getting that all developed. I would, at that point also, we have the property. We're also starting to list it, and we've used a couple of, for example, Congress Realty, the online listing. So we're also listing it there and starting to the whole marketing aspect of the property. Yeah, and so
I'm sorry. I realized I need a tissue.
Jill, there's never a dull moment with you.
Can I have a tissue, please?
Jill, one of the reasons that the 4 of us get along is because we have type AAA personalities. So, Jill, Christine's telling this perfect, beautiful story about how these deals go and how we make hordes of money. And Jill's, I think, a little bit bored with it. It's just too slow for her. It's a little too slow for her. So she's thinking about her nose and her body temperature and the fact that she needs some Kleenex.
And what's great is I can sense that something was going on. So is everything okay?
It's good news for me, because usually when she writes and flips the script over and writes notes, it's usually stuff like, Steve, slow down. Steve, you suck. Jeez, Steve, you're not smiling enough. Fortunately, I'm not in trouble right now, so it's good.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Christine, go ahead.
This is truly unscripted. Yeah.
Okay, so where was I? We had a profile sheet. Okay. So yes. Okay. So now we've listed the property
on the MLS.
On the MLS, and we're starting to get calls. So this is where the fun begins. Again, as we were mentioning in the previous episodes, the range of the calls you get are, I mean, the range, it's drastically different. We get calls that, hey, I will, my offer, that right there on the phone, my offer is, I don't know, 150,000 less than what we're posted out there. And then
Right.
you have some that are also, we're getting offers in via email. That's the other thing, as with their listing, you're posting how they're going to contact you. And then we finally narrowed down to, okay, this is one that seems to be a legitimate offer. What are the next steps, with the buyer? And so,
I mean, before we get to that, Jill, you should really talk about building a buyer's list in a new
I
market.
was just
yeah,
thinking
good
about
idea.
that.
Holding an open house
Yes.
and some of the stuff that has to happen on the first few deals when you get into a market
Yeah.
to develop. So that's a great description of
Right.
the retail, selling a property retail.
Right.
We don't like to do that. That's not our first
Right.
choice. And in fact, most of the
good
deals,
point.
the most
Yeah.
recent one we did was that way. And it's all,
Yes.
and it went longer than we thought and it didn't go exactly how we thought. So that's why it's stuck in our minds, I think.
Right.
But what we typically do, go ahead. What do we typically do?
Well, our goal is to have a really good buyer's list and never have to list a property.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
Everybody
a good point.
wants an off-market deal, and we have off-market deals. But when you're new in a city, in a place, they don't, for some reason, they don't know you yet. You don't have the reputation yet. So just saying I have an off-market deal and emailing it to a bunch of potential buyers, in our case, usually to other investors, it's not quite enough. So we have found that we put it in the MLS, have an open house, and start to collect these buyers, meet them, and get to know them.
Investors only
Investors
open house.
only open house,
Yeah.
exactly. And build up a good group of people. Then they're like, okay, now we know you guys are
Yes.
legit. And then as time goes on,
Yeah.
we do have a good buyers list, and I really don't have to put in the MLS. I really can just email them, and we have several that are all on a first name basis. That we all know how. I know what they're looking for. They know how we work. It's just a perfect storm, if you will. So, but one of the things like Steven's saying we do is in a new market, right? We'll do it right away. And this is the goal. The goal here is to sell it fast. I don't want to hang on to it for a long time. I want to be cash in, cash out, escrow and everything in days or weeks, not weeks and
Days.
months. And my goal is to find another cash investor like me who's trolling that neighborhood,
To
who's
renovate.
already got a dumpster a block
Yeah.
over, and he
That's
already
perfect,
knows
yeah.
the area. He's got the architect. He's got whatever. He's got his designer. He's got his crew ready to roll. He just wants to move them over here. So and he wants this deal too. So this is great. But how you get started is traditionally we put in the MLS and we start getting ready. As we're getting ready to close, we're all getting ready to post it because the day that it's recording, we want to hit that button and have it out on the MLS. And that first weekend after, or whatever day we pick, have a nice open house and be ready to start showing it and get those guys coming in.
Yep.
That's the thing, and they do, especially with Investor Special. And we put our silly little sign out in the yard that's like almost a for sale by owner, Investor Special with our phone number. They call it, And then one thing I would say too is a good tip is we've learned even though once you have it and it's under contract and being sold, keep that stupid sign in the yard because they're still calling you and you're going to keep building up
We'll
a
build that
good
list.
investor list
Yes.
too. Now, because we do have 20, 30 people, in just this one small area that we just quickly can blast it out to them every time we get another one.
Really helps to hand that inspection
Yep.
the inspection past our acquisition process, the physical inspection. It's easy to hand that to the next buyer
Yep.
and say, look, this was done 3 weeks ago and we had no one set foot in the house. So everything holds here. Hope we can save some time.
It saves them time and money.
I've
So we
noticed
do that.
they
We send
actually-
it as an attachment. If we're emailing them, we'll send it as an attachment. And the MLS, we can put it in there too.
I
So
noticed
it's all right there.
that they all get their own inspections anyway.
That-
You notice that?
That was a goof. Well, one time it was a goof because they didn't see ours because it wasn't posted correctly in the
I don't know.
MLS. But
I
some,
think it's a guy thing, maybe.
Maybe.
Like people just want to get I don't trust that guy's inspection. It costs a few $100 just to get my own guy out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've
But
seen that.
it says you're serious if you just hand him something.
yeah, we just did it. Here you go. I can
Yeah,
save
and
you.
there's just the full transparency. Again, it's upfront. This is the property. This is what you're getting. But I do agree it starts with what is the strategy for that property? Is it the quick and starting to forecast what you believe your buyer is going to be?
Right.
Because there's been times where we've actually were forecasting, it's going to be an investor, and then actually we find out it was.
Was it end user?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was the mom and the kids.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right. Which they had all intentions
I'm like,
to remodel that.
are they living in that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So just I understand the strategy.
Yeah.
So the open houses, I agree. It starts to establish within that local area a buyer's list, leaving the sign out. What we found is as they call in, we'll tell them, oh, that house is under contract. They immediately will ask, oh, do you have anything else?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything available?
You're on my
typically
list
get that
now.
all the
It's very
time.
common.
Yeah. So
When you buy the house right, selling it's easy, especially to wholesalers.
Yeah.
When you buy the house right, but you mark it up a lot, like we recently did on a retail thing, it always works. We made a ton of money on the deal, almost $100,000, but it took a long time. I think it took 90 days, maybe I don't
months.
remember either.
Yeah.
It felt like 20 years,
Yes, it did.
and it shouldn't because it's not even our money.
Yes, it did.
right.
Did it sell yet? Did it sell yet?
Right.
Exactly.
So I'd like to think that the role or the difficulty level or the time commitment for the BOG on the sell side is a lot less than the buy side if we do we're all doing it right. I think the hard work's in the acquisition.
Yeah.
It's just like land. You make all your money when you buy it, not when you sell it. So I hope that's true with it. Do you think it is?
Yes,
I
I
absolutely do.
yes, I agree. Because at that point, you're the emotional aspect, which we've found in a number of cases on the seller side. You don't have that anymore. We own the property, and we want to sell it as quick as we can. We're entertaining all offers, reasonable offers, I would say, definitely at times. But yeah, I would agree.
So I'd like to point out something here that I think a lot of people do this differently. We own the asset. We bought it, paid for. Our name is on the deed. It's
We're in the
not
chain
an
of title.
assignment. It's not a contract. I'm not out shopping a contract or something. And I think, I hope for you all, I'd like to hear your take on it. When you're talking to other investors, it's probably like, oh, really? It's kind of weird, Like
It is.
everybody thinks, okay, you're just, passing off the contract or the option.
Right.
You're like, no, we own it.
Yes, yeah, and that's a good point. And again, they take you serious. Yes, they take you serious, and they know that absolutely we have a vested interest in trying to sell the property as quick as we can. But yes, I agree. Is that I would say that has helped all of the conversations, that informing them that we own the property and we can close. Oh, by the way, if you want to close tomorrow or if you want to close 2 weeks from now, we're good to go. Let's just make the deal.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I love too. Also, our whole philosophy is we're trying to make this much because we want them to make this much, because then they're going to keep coming back. We want these investors. We're not getting greedy here. We have our numbers that we're hitting, but we want our investor to just like come in, make it beautiful, and kill it. And then all they're going to do is come back and go, all right, I need 5 more of those. That's the goal.
This is really, really important. It's the person that you sell this house to who's going to renovate it and sell it out retail needs to make more money than you. And if that's not the case, you're asking too much for the property wholesale.
Yeah.
You never want to maximize price on an asset sale in a wholesale environment. Never. And it goes against everything that we've ever learned about real estate our whole lives, that our parents have taught us, and everything. Maximizing sale price is like an international error. If you go to some bazaar in India, the seller wants to maximize the price for a piece of silver jewelry that you're buying for some reason. And it's just human nature. And that doesn't work here. It does it when you're the end sellers on retail, but it doesn't, in my opinion, wholesaling anything. You should be cheaper. Sam Walton built Walmart on that concept.
Yeah.
When he bought stuff cheaper, he sold it cheaper, and he built an empire based on that. And we have a little tiny empire version of that, I guess.
Little tiny now, but it's not going to be later.
Hey, I know your time's valuable. Thanks for spending some of it with us today. Join us next time for the episode called What Did the Boots on the Ground Do for Us as Investors?
And we answer your questions posted on our online community found at houseacademy.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Do you have announcements?
I don't.
Good.
None. Did
Good,
you guys
that's
get
good.
everything out that you wanted to say on about the
buyers.
buyers?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Do you ever have a problematic buyer?
Yes.
hear it.
Give us one.
It goes back to again, there's the buyers that know the process, and then there's the buyers that do not know the process. And I would that the example where we shared the profile of, we were anticipating it was going to be an investor, and it ended up being the actual family that wanted to live in that home. It
Oh, yeah.
completely changed our approach with that transaction, because that was, we never thought in a million
Yeah.
years it was going to be the end user, the family to live there. But
Because
yeah.
it needed some work.
That house is pretty banged up, right?
Yeah.
How did they get a loan on it?
No clue.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was worried about that. I
Yeah.
remember that
I
deal.
don't know.
That's
yeah,
funny.
and then we were hearing that they were going to completely change their backyard into
Yeah.
into a racetrack,
Yeah.
a moto racetrack.
That's the other thing when
Just
you're.
like, oh, geez.
We have a wholesaler in the Phoenix market. I mean, we have a person who buys land from us in the Phoenix market, and he's extremely professional. So are we. And as soon as I have a land deal in the Metro Phoenix market come in, I send him a text with the APN. It's a series of numbers, and that's it. And then within a minute, he sends me either a Y or an N,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of deal I like
Yes.
doing.
Yeah.
Those are great.
It's APN and the price, and then he takes the deal from there, and I don't know about it, and he just sends me the money.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wherever you're watching or wherever you are listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
And inspiration.
to buy undervalued property.